Hey, what's up guys? So in this video, we're going to take a closer look at the Radenso DS1 and then we're going to run through the different settings and menu options available here in the Detector. Now this is designed to be just kind of a quick overview so you can see the different settings and what the Detector is like. This is not designed to be a detailed technical explanation of every different little feature for a couple reasons. Number one, I'm still learning some of that and I still need to do some testing to kind of figure out some of the details. Additionally, I know Radenso actually wants to do some more firmware updates to add new features and to change some things, and so I'm going to hold off on doing kind of the detailed explanation of all the settings. However, if you want more information than what I'm covering in the video, I've actually got an article available now on my website that goes into more information about all the different settings. And website articles are much easier to keep updated every time there's a new firmware update or anything changes, or maybe I learn more about the Detector. While videos, on the other hand, there's not an easy way for me to update the video once a change comes out, and so I'm going to hold off on that for a bit. And in this video, because the Detector it's not yet available, I just wanted to quickly run through some of the different settings and menu options so you can learn a little bit more about this Detector. So with that said, let's dive into it. All right, so diving into the Detector, there's a couple buttons here on top of the Detector that we can use to kind of dive into the menu and change settings. This bottom button right here is going to actually allow us to enter the menu. And then we've got the plus and minus buttons here.
Band on and off. Band setting.
Which is going to allow us to actually start cycling through the different menu sections. Then we can press this button here again. And that's going to then enter in the submenu. Then again, we can go in.
X radar sensitivity.
Maybe you want to change the sensitivity of something. And you can go in here and start kind of dialing in and changing the different settings you want. Press that menu button again here to go ahead and choose that. And then if you want to go back, kind of go up in the menu, we're going to press and hold the button. And it takes us back up a menu level as well. So that's kind of your navigation stuff. And then we have a power button here in case you want to turn the Detector on and off. So now that we've covered navigation stuff, let's go into the menu. All right, so we've got a couple different sections here in the menu. So we've got our user preferences.
Band on and off.
Turn stuff on and off.
Band setting. Display. Tone. GPS. Units. User preference.
So those are the different sections. Let's go ahead and start diving into the different sections. All right, so mode. We've got an auto mode and a custom mode. Auto mode, it's going to basically vary the Detector sensitivity depending on speed.
Custom mode.
Custom is going to allow you to control all your K-band sensitivity manually. And auto mode, at least with firmware 1.05 here, this is also going to introduce a K-notch around 24.199 plus minus 5 megahertz, which is kind of cool. So do that. Voice, this is going to be giving you your voice information.
On.
And I've got a couple radar guns that I brought with me just so that we can trigger the Detector and demo some of the alerts. Whoops, I've got my low speed muting enabled, but you can see we've got the band information here, and then we also have kind of our all threat display. It displays some additional signals when they show up here. Let's go ahead and disable the low speed muting real quick.
Voice, frequent low speed mute. K-band. KA band.
Something I've noticed that's kind of weird is if you turn the voice off, you'll notice
Frequency display. Low speed mute.
It keeps announcing the voice stuff. Normally it, I guess, turns off the voice altogether. But for this one, the voice is still announcing it here. It just doesn't announce the radar band information anymore.
Frequency display.
All right, so if you wanted to announce 34, or well, display 34.7 or something.
Low speed mute.
Got your option for that, which we just turned off. Looks like we can go up to 45 miles an hour here. Usually run 35.
Overspeed warning.
So if you wanted to maybe announce, if you go over a certain speed, go up to 105.
Mode.
Okay, let's go next.
Band on and off.
Let's go into here. So we can turn different stuff on and off. Super simple and standard here.
KA band. MRCD. K band. X band.
And something I think is kind of funny.
POPKA. POPK.
Calls it POP instead of pop. So you can turn it on and off here. I think it's off by default. I think that's 67 milliseconds pop for both K and KA, not 16 millisecond K-band.
Band setting.
Okay, so we can adjust our sensitivity for the different bands here individually. So if you want to dial it back, go down to 50% sensitivity. I like 100%.
K radar sensitivity.
So, a lot like the Unitons, I guess, you can individually control band sensitivity like this. In case it's maybe too sensitive, you want a quieter detector.
X radar sensitivity.
Same thing here.
KA segment.
So with this one, you got a couple options. I don't know the exact frequency ranges here.
KA wide.
But we got our KA wide.
KA narrow.
Which is probably like a 258 type setup.
KA segment.
And individual segments. To adjust the settings for our
KA
segmentation,
segment setting.
we have another option just for that. So we've actually got
KA segment 9.
9 segments total. So I guess like some of the other Unitons, it cuts off above maybe 35.7 or so.
KA segment 1.
But otherwise, it's going to be kind of your 258
KA
type stuff.
segment 2.
And you just go in here and turn individual
Off.
segments on and off.
On.
Okay.
KA segment K narrow.
Okay, so we also have K-band segmentation. So we've got our
K wide.
K wide and K narrow.
K narrow.
I'm still figuring out the exact frequency ranges here, and there's actually another option that's available if you set it to New Zealand mode, which I'll show you maybe towards the end of the video.
KA filter.
Okay, so KA filter, I think it's on by default,
On.
but yeah, turn it off for better performance.
Off. K
K-band filter for BSMs, I guess. TSR, traffic sensor rejection filter, so traffic sensors, it does affect performance, so
off.
on or off as needed.
KA radar sensitivity.
So next,
Display.
let's adjust the display. All right, so we do have
Auto.
an ambient light sensor in here. So you have your automatic display brightness. You don't have to go in and manually adjust it, which is pretty cool.
Bright. Dim. Dimmer.
And then you do have your manual display controls here. I don't think there's like a button to adjust the display there.
Auto. Bright.
You got to do it through the menu here.
Display color.
So a couple options for the display color. We'll just run through them real quick.
Blue. White. Gray. Pink. Purple. Green. Amber. Red.
Cool.
Laser color.
And then you can also individually control when an alert pops up, what color that alert is. So let's see, laser alerts will show up in blue. You may have noticed like
K color.
my K-band was kind of amber or something. Yep, amber. And then my
MRKA.
KA was red, and that's why.
MRCD color.
So you can do MRCD,
K color. X color.
X band, right? Just individual bands, different colors.
Idle mode.
Okay, so idle mode. Scan is kind of that scanning bar. When there's no alert present, you can have it
Time.
display the time if you want.
Smart dark.
Smart dark is kind of cool. We'll actually just pull that up here real quick and we'll wait for it to time out. But basically it normally keeps the display dark and then lights up when you get an alert. So you'll see there's that blinking dot on the bottom of the screen just to let you know that the detector is on. And then when you do get an alert, just mute it here real quick. You can see the alert pops up on the display. I've got the voice turned off, so there was no band announcement. It didn't say KA band. It just gave you the audio tones, and then it goes back to the blinking dot like this. And then dark mode, similar to smart dark, except the display just stays off the whole time completely. Now, you'll still, though, get this little blinking dot right there in the corner, just so that you can verify that the detector's still powered on and not unplugged and not protecting you. But when you get an alert, you can see we can still hear the alert. It's just the detector otherwise stays dark the whole time. I guess it does light up for mute button presses, and then, of course, if you go into the menu. But otherwise, for the alerts themselves, the display stays dark.
Sub mode.
Now, sub mode, basically, you've kind of got your extra information up in the corner, and you can just choose what information you want it to display.
Compass. Speed and compass. Altitude. Off. Speed.
Cool. Okay, next. We'll go here
Tone.
to tone. So we got our different audio tones for the detector, and we can customize them for different bands.
KA band. MRCD. K band. X band. Laser.
And they all have the same different 10 tones. I'll go ahead and run through them real quick. All right, and then next,
GPS.
we've got our different GPS kind of settings. So go into that. Turn the GPS stuff on and off, I guess, if you want to turn it off for some reason.
GPS signal announce.
So if you wanted to announce when you get a GPS lock at startup, you can have that.
Off.
Otherwise, we'll turn it off.
Auto lockout.
So you've got your auto lockouts built in. Pretty awesome. You can turn them on and off if you want maybe just manual lockouts instead.
Home auto lockout radius.
Now, this is kind of weird. I'm not entirely sure why you'd want to do this. But you can basically set a radius and you kind of create a home location, which we'll do in a second. And then you just create a radius, like within that radius, your auto lockouts are still going to work. I guess maybe if you're traveling super far and you don't want to learn auto lockouts in another state or something, you can, I guess, do that. But I want my lockouts to work everywhere.
Pin home.
So pin home, this is where you say like where your current home location is. Let's try it real quick.
Pin home saved.
Okay, so now it says this location where I am is my home.
Home.
And then if I was to use this feature, it would create a radius around this specific location. So that's what that is.
Pin home. Red light camera.
And then if you just want your alerts to different red light cameras and speed cameras, you've got that built in here too. So red light camera.
Speed camera. Red light and speed camera.
Some cameras have both red light cameras and speed cameras built in.
GPS alert distance.
So you can adjust the alert distance to those different things. I don't know what the auto is exactly. It usually just varies the alert distance based on speed.
Short, medium, long, auto.
So maybe longer range at faster speeds, but I don't know the details as far as speed thresholds or how far away these different alerts are yet.
Red light camera auto mute.
So this can be useful just to, maybe mute red light cameras if you're on the highway. Pick up a red light camera on a nearby surface street. You can mute it if you're traveling above the speed. So I like this feature because I do pick up red light cameras on the highway, so that's useful.
Delete all user points.
So this can be kind of nice if you manually create a user point while driving around to get notified. You can just delete all of them here.
All user points deleted.
Cool.
Delete all lockouts.
So if you want to delete your manual lockouts, same idea.
Delete all auto lockouts.
Delete your auto lockouts.
GPS setting.
Okay.
Units.
All right, units. So, this is kind of cool. Check this out. So we've got a couple different regions that the detector is kind of designed for. So US, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand.
Canada, Australia, and New Zealand.
So we'll do this real quick. And what this is going to do is when you change those different regions, it adjusts a couple things. So it's going to change
GMTDS time units.
So your units, you notice mine just got switched to metric units. I was running
English.
it in English before. So kilometers per hour and whatnot.
Time DSD.
Oops, time zone.
GMT set.
It's also going to affect my time zone. So now it's set up here for the time zone for, I guess, Australia and New Zealand. This is not my American time zones. You'll notice if I
Reach database region.
go back here
US.
and I set it to US again, my GMT now changes to a US time zone. So it's basically just presets to adjust the different time zones and miles per hour and stuff. One other thing though,
Region. Canada, Australia.
cool thing that I found is if you go and set it to Australia New Zealand mode,
User preference. Band on and off. Band setting. KXKA NZK narrow.
there's a new feature here for K-band segmentation, specifically for New Zealand. And I believe it just kind of does some additional segmentation just to alert you to their, photo cameras and avoid even more of the BSM falses. So that's a cool feature here for New Zealand
Exit.
drivers. Daylight savings time, cool.
Time.
So if you want to adjust 12 or 24-hour time display,
Unit.
English or metric, so miles per hour, kilometers per hour.
Auto.
So this is kind of nice. Your auto power feature, in case your power source here always gets power, the detector can shut off after you've been parked for this amount of time. That way you don't drain your car battery.
Auto mute.
So your auto mute controls, you can turn it on or off if you want. So it alerts at full volume initially, then drops the volume.
Auto.
You can choose here auto mute start. This is going to adjust how long the detector waits until it actually reduces the audio volume. So 3-second normal alert and then drop the volume, after
Exit.
3 seconds. Now there's also another option here
Auto mute volume.
where you can choose basically how quiet the detector gets once it drops the alert after what I have now set to 3 seconds. So you can reduce to half volume or go all the way down to totally silent after your 3 seconds of initial alerts. So that's kind of cool.
Factory reset.
If you want to reset everything to factory defaults, you can do that right here. I'm not going to do that for now though.
Firm.
So you can see our current firmware version right here. So I'm running 1.05 at the time I'm shooting this video.
Database.
And then also tells you your GPS database version. So August 6th, 2021. And I think that's it.
Region.
Cool. So yeah, that's just a quick run through here with the DS1 and the different settings and menu options. Again, I expect some changes here, and I'm also still learning some of the details like your segmentation thresholds, some of the auto mode stuff. I'm not really sure like what speed threshold some of the stuff changes at, so I'm definitely still learning some of the details, but either way, this is just kind of a quick look here at the different settings that are available here in the DS1. So yeah, hopefully this is helpful. Thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned. I got some more tests and some more videos to do with this detector. But yeah, so hope you're all doing well. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.